Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Action Comics issue number 1014. This was, you know, there's somebody who acted like a friend and then goes and says something ridiculously silly like, if you don't like a comic book, you've got no excuse, none, to keep on reading. Actually, I think that maybe it's time for you to become a little bit older, not just act like it. I've got the old saying, I've got underwear older than you. I don't, but it's just a statement of pure, unadulterated adolescence to make such a statement. Because if you stuck around long enough in the world, you'll realize that you can go multiple issues reading something that you don't like because you know eventually it's going to get a whole lot better. This right now, could this be one of the best books on the market? That's a pretty rough one to say considering all that we put up with, but now this was actually a really solid issue. They were really solid, not actually solid, because there were some weak points in here. There were some weak points. We're going to get into all that stuff. First, I don't know, I guess we should talk about all the people who made the comic books. So, Brian Michael Bendis on writing, Simon Kodransky on art, Brad Anderson doing the colors, Rob Leigh on letters, Brandon Peterson doing the cover, and Ben Oliver doing the variant cover. And Superman was created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. My peeps. What do you call it? When Perry goes into the office and he actually meets up with Marisol Leone. First, is that the first time we're actually learning her first name also? They just kept on saying Miss Leone. But anyway, she's really cool in this. I know that she's a bad guy and like she's doing some plotting, some planning. Is she actually a bad? It's hard to tell. I think that, yeah, she's definitely like the bad guy because Leviathan is against her and Leviathan told Superman that he's on their side, believe it or not. So I'm down. And she's scared, and you could tell that she's a woman scared. She's written so well. Okay, I don't know what kind of money Brian Michael Bendis comes from, but I will say this. Anybody who knows people who are into money, what do they always do? Oh, there's a problem. Throw money at it until it finally solves itself. That's, of course, silly if you've got flammable money and you're throwing it at a fire, but that's all they know how to do. They genuinely don't know what else to do. The best they can do is, well, let's throw money at a think tank and hire some people to start thinking of a way to fix it, and how can I fix it with my money? Like, dude, it's sad when all you are is a hammer. We do get a good chunk of Superman action in here as he goes and he beats up a monster at Star Labs. We've been seeing a lot of silliness going on. I'm just like, dude, why the hell is this constantly happening? And this was the issue where I was finally going to say something in the review, but then Brian Michael Bendis uses his X-ray vision and his power of prescience, realized I'm going to say that, or somebody, and he has Superman use his X-ray vision to look inside Star Labs, which he doesn't like to do a lot. And he does, and he sees that the whole place is a freaking mess. I mean, there are monsters captured, there's people high-fiving and hazing each other, there's explosions going on, there's people sleeping with each other, like, dude, people fighting each other. What the hell is going on in Star Labs? They're all a bunch of jackasses. And it's gotten out of control. Are we going to see what happened? Like, why has this been happening? I really hope so. I genuinely do, because it just looks like there's a killer story here. I'm just saying. And then Clark gets to meet Marisol. The weak part of this whole comic book to me was the Red Cloud versus Thorn part, because it felt so weak. It felt so like, why is this stuff happening? Anyway, she has been amped up big time. You could clearly see because Luthor did that. But even though the story itself here, I should say the dialogue is weak, and it does the whole comic book does get very Bendis-y, wordy. Did that on purpose. But Kodransky, look at what he does. Look at the panel separation. They're thorns. So when Thorn is here, that's what they actually do with the panels. Like, that's awesome. I loved that. I genuinely loved that. Now, all of the conversations that happen here are pretty important. Maybe that one wasn't, but all the conversations here are pretty important. And all of a sudden, somebody shows up at the end. Guys, if you don't want to see the spoiler, don't look at what's about to happen. But I'm going to show the spoiler because I think it's going to help people who weren't on this comic book to understand it's time to jump back on the comic book. under my say-so. Okay? Here comes the spoiler right now. She's finally here. Naomi is finally here. Oh my God. I can't wait. Can't wait to see what's going to happen next. So that is cool. I cannot tell you how happy I am for Bendis to pretty much bring this book together and finally start doing something great. This is the book, the Action Comics is the one that's going to tie in with the Event Leviathan stuff the most. And I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen next, especially now that Naomi is here. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. Definitely check out the comic book. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.